What has been happening with Onyx Coin, XCN, because it has been breaking some of these bullish patterns I've talked about to the downside. Now, very important to note that these technical analysis patterns, even though they have a higher chance of breaking in one direction, they still have a smaller chance that they break to the other direction. We're all just talking about probabilities here. Nothing in this market is for certain, so very important to be not over leveraged and risk manage. Okay. Now, these are very cliche words, but what they mean to me is that not being over leveraged means not losing my shirt if these break to the other direction of the pattern. Okay. Or when there's a drawdown that happens, or when there is a dump like yesterday. Okay. I, I could have bought more yesterday. Into long positions, but I decided not because that would risk my financial health, right? So I decided not to do that and therefore not over leveraged. I've seen quite a bit of these dumps, especially recently, especially after that crash that happened about 3 weeks ago. But these are normal, right? And I've been trading for the last 5 plus years, and I've seen these dumps over and over again, and that is also why I'm more conscious of not being over leveraged. Right, I want to be trading in the long term. I want to stack my profits more consistently and steadily, right? And when there are times when there's more uncertainty and higher risk, I would be looking after my financial health, right? And what does it also mean to risk manage? Risk manage is such a broad term. It's basically, to me, what that means is having a contingency plan, having a plan to a lot of these what ifs. Okay, what if this price action breaks to the downside against its probabilities? What if this price action does not break to the upside? Okay, what would I do? Okay, will I be hedging against it? Would I be putting in the shorts? I am looking to short Bitcoin as a hedge for my long positions, and I've talked more about that in my more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. Okay, Bitcoin is still the driver of this crypto markets, and that's why you guys should be paying attention to it. Okay, now I am long on quite a bit of the altcoins here, so my opinions on these markets in the longer term is still bullish. However, these are just my opinions and not financial advice, like the entirety of this video, and you guys should form your own opinions and strategies. Now, XCN has been running within this falling wedge pattern that broke to the downside as of last week's weekly candle close. When you get candle closes on the highest time frame that the pattern is validated in, that invalidates the pattern. And the highest time frame I think that is validated in is on the weekly time frame. Okay, let's take a look into the monthly time frame just to see if I'm correct. Yes, I am. I am not wrong on that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take away that pattern because it did get invalidated and we've been running within it for quite some time. Okay, even since a couple months ago. So what could we be looking at for XCM right now? Now, since we invalidated that pattern, I still do see another falling wedge pattern here on this weekly time frame. Okay, always rechart your patterns when I continuously refresh my charts anyways. I continuously look for new patterns that arise just to keep myself informed with the new data. Now, this is a bigger falling wedge pattern. So, falling wedges are still bullish patterns that have a higher chance of breaking to the upside because it tells you that after an extensive downtrend in that time frame, that the price action is likelier to break back out to the upside. Now, if this one breaks to the upside by this point, for example, price target would still be about 3.3 cents price target. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less, a lot of which does depend on what happens with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping from here, these altcoin setups, they're not going to matter very much. So very important to pay attention to Bitcoin. It still has a breakdown target that could pull Bitcoin down further. Okay, I talked about confirmations that I'll be looking for that could increase the success rate of where Bitcoin could be breaking to in terms of direction. So that's that, right? And this is XCM right now. Quite a bit of resistance to get back on top of, including your weekly moving averages, your weekly 21 SMA, your weekly 50 SMA, pretty parallel with that upward trend line here. Let's take a look into a 4-hour time frame and see if there's any clues on what XCN could be doing. There is just bullish divergence that's playing out right now on the 4-hour time frame, and divergence you should definitely be paying attention to because there are indicators that tells you there is a likelihood of a reversal. In this case, it's bullish divergence, and the reversal is a bounce. Let's see how far this takes Onyx Coin. So this basically wraps up for today's update on Onyx Coin. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of XCN by dropping a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis. And I'll see you on the next one.